Ted Provenza's right. Get your dimes tonight. Ted Provenza's right. He works all through the night to bring the news to light. Get the coin of the realm. Prime time to get your dimes. Harness your purchasing power. If you know, you know. So get your dimes tonight, 'cause Ted Provenza's right.
Well, welcome to Ted Speaks. A man nicknamed the Punisher is set to testify in Diddy's court case. New Jersey Attorney Abbott has filed charges against Democrat Representative McIver for obstructing and assaulting federal law enforcement officers. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Charles Kushner, Jared Kushner's father, as the new ambassador to France. All major mobile networks in Spain have gone down just 4 weeks after a major nationwide power outage struck the country. President Trump announces an investigation who was truly operating the auto pen during the Biden administration, saying that Biden himself would have never approved open borders. Elon Musk says kids should be kept far away from Bill Gates. U.S. regulators announced that COVID-19 will no longer be routinely authorized for healthy children and younger adults. Jeffrey Epstein's former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, is calling on Pam Bondi and Kash Patel to release all information they have on Epstein. Republican Representative Nancy Mace says she plans to reveal her naked body during today's oversight hearing. 173 countries have officially signed on to the World Health Organization pandemic treaty. Representative Tim Burchett suggested staffers operating Biden's auto pen may have been receiving massive payoffs in exchange for issuing pardons. And lastly, FBI Director Kash Patel shuts down the FBI's internal watchdog unit, tasked with overseeing misuse of warrantless wiretaps and surveillance.
What's the purpose of the Bank of International Settlements?
Okay, so there are two things you need to know about the Bank of International Settlements. It has sovereign immunity.
What does that mean?
It's above the law.
It's its own country.
Right. It's its own country. It has its own police force. And essentially, other than one of its staff being in a car accident or, minor things, no one has the legal authority to move against it. Okay, it has sovereign immunity. That's number one. Number two, it can move money and hold it on its balance sheet and manage money secretly. So if I want to, I'm grossly oversimplifying, if I want to steal $21 trillion from the U.S. government and park it on the balance sheet of the BIS, it can move it anywhere in the world and it can keep it on its balance sheet secretly.
Well, looks like the end is here. What if you threw a party and no one showed up? This is exactly what happened yesterday. The Fed held an auction for U.S. bonds and no one showed up. So the Fed quietly bought $50 billion of its own fake money with fake money. The party's over. Hyperinflation is here. Millions, young and old, to be wiped out financially. Good news, gold will go up to about $25,000, silver to $70, Bitcoin to $500,000 and to $1 million, and poof. The big print, the title of Larry Lepard's latest book is on. Please read it. The end I've been warning about is finally here, as far as financials are concerned. And let me welcome you with this. Good morning, friends. Today, we're diving into a wonderfully important topic, John Exter's pyramid, and how it impacts the value of the dollar and ripple effect on silver pricing. We'll also ask an intriguing question. Is there a connection between John Exter and Voltaire? Stick with me because the answers might surprise you. Let's begin with John Exter, a man whose work and ideas have had a lasting impact on how we understand the global financial system. John Exter was a renowned economist and central banker who worked at the Federal Reserve and the Bank of England. He's perhaps the best remembered for creating what's known as Exter's pyramid, a brilliant model of how people view and shift their assets during times of economic crisis. Do we have a picture that we can show?
We do. Here we go.
Exter's pyramid is simple but incredibly insightful. At the base of the pyramid lies the most liquid and low-risk assets, things like cash and government bonds. These assets generally considered safe and are held by investors during stable economic periods. As you move up the pyramid, you get into riskier assets, stock, real estate, corporate bonds, and at the very top of Exter's pyramid lies the ultimate safe haven, gold and silver. These metals are the last line of defense in times of financial turmoil, and they have stood the test of time as stores of value. Now, what's happening today? As we witness unprecedented levels of debt and financial instability around the world, we're starting to see Exter's pyramid come to life. The dollar, once a symbol of financial stability, is now showing cracks. Government debt is unsustainable levels, and central banks are printing money at a rate that raises serious concerns about inflation and the purchasing power of fiat currencies. According to Exter's pyramid, when things go wrong, there's inflation, currency debasement, or a crisis, investors begin to move up the pyramid, seeking safer and more stable assets. And what do we see in times of financial stress? People rush to gold and silver. Historically, these metals have been the bedrock of value, and they're the ultimate safe havens during times of uncertainty. Now, this brings us to an important question. How does this affect the silver pricing? As we witness more instability in the dollar and other fiat currencies, silver, like gold, starts to rise. The premiums on silver coins and bullion have been increasing, and demand grows, and the supply of physical silver continues to tighten. This upward movement in silver pricing is a direct reflection of the market's recognition of the diminishing value of fiat money, as well as the growing demand for real, tangible wealth. When a financial system faces stress, whether it's through rising debt, inflation, or currency manipulation, people begin to lose trust in paper money. As John Exter's pyramid suggests, once that trust is lost, there's a flight to safety, and gold and silver become the asset of choice. As the dollar weakens, silver's role as a hedge against inflation becomes even more crucial, and the price is driven even higher by investors looking for protection. But now let's add an intriguing layer to the conversation. Could John Exter somehow be connected to Voltaire? That might sound strange at first, but when you look deeper, the connection makes sense. Voltaire, the famous French philosopher, is quoted as having said, "Paper money will eventually return to its intrinsic value, zero." While this quote might seem extreme, it is proven time and time again throughout history to be true. Fiat currencies, such as the dollar, lose their value once trust in them is gone, and only the true money that remains is gold and silver. Voltaire, living in the 18th century, was witness to the collapse of several fiat currency systems in Europe, and he recognized a simple truth. When a government abuses its control over the money supply, inflation occurs, and the value of the currency crumbles. We've been seeing this scenario unfold repeatedly throughout history, whether it's during the hyperinflation of Weimar Germany, the collapse of Argentine peso, or the current state of Venezuela. Exter, much like Voltaire, understood the fragile nature of fiat currencies and the eventual need to return to sound money. In his pyramid, gold and silver sit at the top as the most secure assets. Exter was warning us, just as Voltaire did, that once the value of paper money erodes, there's only one place to turn: real money, precious metals, coin of the realm, as we often refer to it. So what does all this mean for us today? We're living in a time when the dollar's dominance is being questioned. We're seeing rising inflation, mounting debt, and the devaluation of paper currencies. Exter's pyramid is more relevant than ever. We are seeing the shift from fiat money towards precious metals, with silver playing an increasingly important role in the financial world. As the dollar weakens, silver strengthens, both as a store of value and as a hedge against dollars in decline. This is a reminder for all of us, just as Voltaire warned against paper money that eventually returns to zero. Exter's pyramid tells us that in times of crisis, gold and silver will rise to the top. Smart money moves to hard money. As the financial world continues to experience turbulence, it's becoming clearer that the real value lies in the precious metals, not in paper currencies. So in closing, we must recognize the most powerful lessons from John Exter and Voltaire. Exter's pyramid offers a visual map of how the financial world responds to crisis, how we might move up the pyramid in terms of security. And Voltaire's warning about fiat currencies reminds us that paper's value is in fact fragile. As we navigate this uncertain financial landscape, let's remember that silver, along with gold, is your ticket to safety, your hedge against inflation, and your protection against the collapse of a fiat currency. This fiat currency, right now, it's happening. Thank you for joining me this morning. Let's stay vigilant, let's stay informed, and keep your investments secure. And I look forward to our next deep dive into the fascinating world of finance. Welcome.